I think there's a lot of pressure on Arsenal to do it, man, especially against us. I think your fan base will start looking at Arteta like, why have you changed it?
What do you expect from United this season? What is the next step for Ten Hag's process now?
I know your fan base, they're waiting. The pressure, though, is on Arsenal.
More so, yeah.
Arsenal need to win this one.
To be honest with you, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. We do have to win this. How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Box to Box. The international break is nearly here, but there's a big fixture to be played beforehand right here at the Emirates Stadium, and it's Manchester United. It's always a big game, always has been a big game, always will be a big game. And this season, fourth game in, it's another Big Six fixture. Cam's in the building. What are you saying, Cams?
All good, man. All good. You know what happens when Man United come to town. You know what I'm saying? It's always a big one. It's always exciting. And I did the box to box before the Emirates game last year.
Yeah.
And you know, a couple of my shots came true. Not good for me, but you know, it's gonna be interesting. That's all I can say.
It is going to be interesting. Let's start with Man United as we do on Box to Box. But make sure you subscribe to Cam's people. I'm going to put it in the title. I'm going to put his socials in the description below as well to show some love to Cam's, the regular representative on Box to Box, doing big things out there as well. So show some love.
Bro.
But United, transfer window, you got a few names in, finished third last season. Nearly slipped up towards the end of the season, but you managed to hold on to the Champions League place and even finish above Newcastle come the end of it. What do you expect from United this season? What is the next step for Ten Hag's process now? Finishing third and winning the cup in his first season sets the bar quite high.
I mean, look, at the start of the summer, I would have said, you know, maybe let's get closer to Arsenal. Let's get closer to City. See, even though we only finished 9 points off you last season, in the course of the season, we weren't really close to you for that much. So what I would say is, I would say, you know, get closer to you guys, compete. Now, win the title is a big expectation, it's a big ask, but get closer. Let the fans dream a little bit, you know, let us believe.
like we did last year.
Yeah, you guys took it a bit further than I expect, but like, let us just, you know what I mean, be in the picture a little bit. You know when you watch Premier League years, like, United were there, you know, they were there, they just faded away, you know what I mean? That's how I wanted it to be, but then when I look at the summer we've had, honestly, like, it's one of the worst summers in recent memory. And I'm looking at, I remember the 18-19 summer, we just came second after Jose Mourinho. And then we brought in Fred, Dallo and Grant. That's it. And in the next season, Jose Mourinho is gone. And I'm not saying Eric Ten Hag is going to be gone, but Onana's a good signing. Mount is a good player. Højlund is an unknown entity. I know Mount is causing a lot of debate and amongst the fan base, but we haven't sold what we were meant to sell. And we haven't improved the squad to the way that I thought we would. We've only signed 2 outfield players. And this squad isn't ready. This squad isn't ready for that. So I don't want to be negative Nancy, but I'm not positive going into this season anymore. And judging from the way we've started the league, I feel like I'm justified at the moment.
You say 2 outfield players, but you brought in Onana as well. And you've seen how much Ramsdale has done for us in the last couple of years. Yes, there's been mistakes along the way, and yes, Ray has been added as competition this year to hopefully eliminate those mistakes and push him on further. But Onana coming in, he comes in with that modern-day goalkeeper profile, playing at the back. And when I look at how much Ramsdale done for us, are you expecting the same from Onana?
Definitely. Look, I was saying, if we're talking about transformative signings, like not the best, just someone who can potentially change how a team look. I thought Onana's probably going to be that one. But I'm looking at the first 4 games, we're not utilising that. We're not actually utilising Spurs. Okay, we did a little bit. I remember he came out, he made a ping down to Garnacho. That was mad. But you know what he can do. But it's the way we're playing as a team. Right now, we're still just kind of using him as a standard goalkeeper. But one thing I do like about him, he comes to claim, he'll punch, that penalty scared, he's moving mad there. But
he's got character.
He's got character. But the problem is we brought him in not only for his character, not only for his goalkeeping skills, but for what he can do on the ball. And we haven't been able to see that yet enough in the full season. Pre-season, we saw it. But right now, we haven't been able to see it yet. So, look, I think as the season goes along and we become a little bit more confident, I do think already we're kind of in, like, survival mode. Like, oh, what's going on? That was a rocky start to the season. Do you know what I mean? But I think once things start to groove, Onana will be fine. I'm not worried about Onana at all. He's not the one I'm worried about. It's the rest of it, you know what I mean? That's it's a bit shaky.
And listen, the big striker you brought in, I say big, by fee, more so than by name yet, because, you know, we haven't seen much of him.
Yeah.
But Rasmus Højlund, it looks like he'll make some sort of appearance here at the Emirates, and a lot rests on him when you look at the problems you've had in that attacking position in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, you look at United, statistically, we're always up there with chances created, with XG and all this. Bruno's always up in all these stats. So, look, it's not as easy as 2 + 2 = 4, but you would think, put a striker in there that knows where the goal is, knows where the net is, put your most creative midfielder in there, and we're going to score goals. It's not always as simple as that, but even going through this season, we've had chances. Spurs, you should have been 3-0 up. We should have put them away. We lose the game 2-0. You know what I mean? And so we have an issue. Even last season, we're putting the ball in the back of the net. We scored 58 goals last season. I think that was 30 less than you lot.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? 30 goals less. So we've had a striker issue for years. We've been trying to make do with Martial. He'll never be fit enough. Cristiano came in, he tried a thing. Cavani came in. It's the first time we're bringing in someone, probably since Martial, if you want to call him a striker, but it's the first time we're bringing in someone that's of a really good age. You know what I mean? Lukaku came in, that didn't work, of course. Yeah. But we've got a young guy that we can build with. And look, there's a lot of pressure. I saw Gary Neville talk about the goalkeeping position is the most pressured position. Look, goalkeeping position at Manchester United is the most pressure of any position in the league.
Yeah.
I think it's up front, bro.
Yeah.
I think it's up front. You being a Manchester United striker, the pressure is unbelievable.
You have to bag.
You have to bag.
Yeah.
You have to bag, you know? Højlund can do all of the running the channels. We need a goal scorer. So we can't keep relying on Rashford to do it, because Rashford has shown through his career he can do this. You know what I mean? He hasn't shown that he can do this for years and years and years. So we need someone else to chip in, and Højlund, the expectations there straight away, man.
Yeah, I'm looking at Arsenal now and the business we done. Finished second last season, fell off at the end of it. You know, we've all talked about it. You know, I've moved on now, focus on this season. But we brought in Declan Rice, 105 million, I believe it was. We brought in Kai Havertz. We brought in Timber, who unfortunately now is out. And that was actually the one I looked at and said, that's probably the most transformative of the three. Yeah. As you mentioned, with transformative signings, but we haven't got him now, so we're gonna have to make do.
You think you've had a good window? I don't think you lot have improved your team. I don't think you lot have improved your squad. And I think that because you got your business done early, I was also one of them ones that I was applauding, but I was like, oh, Arsenal can get 2 more. I thought you might get like a Moussa Diaby. And like, I was like, wow, Arsenal, before pre-season, everyone's on the plane to America.
Yeah.
But now I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, Timber's out, not anything to do with Arsenal's control, but Timber's out. And now you're looking at, you got Rice in there and you've got Havertz in there. Me, I don't think Havertz improves Arsenal. I don't think he does. Declan Rice, I think he improves Arsenal if you have Thomas Partey in the midfield next to him. With Odegaard in front, that's when it's improved. But if you're putting Declan Rice in there to put Partey at the right back, I don't think it's improving your team at the moment. And I love Declan Rice as a player. He's a fantastic player. There's nothing against him, but it's the utilisation, it's still how he's being utilised. I've got kind of question marks if your team have really improved this summer.
You make fair points because, listen, especially with Timber out now, the 2 signings made for 170 million are Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. Now, Declan Rice, in my opinion, it's not a judge him game by game.
No.
It's look at the end of the season, and we should have conceded less goals than we did the season before. Because last season, our problem, in my opinion, was conceding
Win
goals.
More duels.
Exactly, all of that. He blows them other midfielders out of the water in terms of those stats: ball-winning duels, recoveries, interceptions, tackles, all of that. So with Declan Rice, that's an improvement. But with Kai Havertz also coming in and the tactical tweaks coming in with him, I'm struggling to get my head around why we seem to have changed so much off of the back of a season we've just had. Now, listen, Arteta's done things in the last 2 years where, whether it be a player coming in, or let's just say a player like Ben White coming in, and a lot of that, 50 million, what's he going to bring? Or a player like Ben White being moved to right back, what's he going to do? Arteta's got a bit of credit in the bank in that department, so generally we trust him. But at the same time, I think where we was last season, you can't take 2 back to go 4 forward. It's about going 2 forward now.
And my thing is, look, I was saying to you off camera, I'm probably going to say all this Havertz will score. And the thing is, I actually like Havertz at Chelsea. I thought there's times, okay, he was up and down, but I thought there's a player in there. But I'll be honest, like, sometimes you've got take back what your shouts are. And I'm just starting to look at Havertz. I'm like, is he creative? Is he... Like, I don't really know what his biggest strength is at the moment. But the thing is this step back that you're potentially going to take to embed Havertz into it, is that going to take you... Is he that level of player that's now going to take you 2 steps forward? You know what I'm trying to say?
Fourth,
I don't know if he is. Like, if you guys were doing this over prime Mesut Ozil or something, I'll be like, maybe it's worth the gamble. But Havertz, I'm like, he's not a ceiling raiser. Like, he's not going to...
No.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't think any Arsenal fan towards the end of last season said, let's go get Kai Havertz from Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he's come in now, and I'm looking at him in the first few games, and listen, people, it's just a few games. I know people will be, he's too reactionary, or give him a chance. Listen, I'm giving him a chance because Arteta signed him, and Arteta's got credit in the bank. But we've just drawn to Fulham, and it's only 3 games in, but I just don't want us to accommodate for Havertz, cost us points, look back in November and say, well, we're a bit far off City, so we've got to set top 4 as a target or get as close as possible to City. I want to be challenging again. And I've never seen someone go toe-to-toe with City and win it. I've never seen someone catch City and win it. I've seen one club just hit the ground running and never look back and win it, and that's Liverpool.
That was Liverpool, yeah.
So there are concerns there in the early days. I think you're justified in asking, have we made the improvements? Because on the pitch, you haven't seen it yet, or we haven't seen it yet. But we hope that, especially after international break, I need to start seeing it. And this Sunday's a big one. Does he start Havertz? Is Partey going to be right back?
I think that's the key over there, man. I think that Partey decision is the key. Like, I think a lot of your issues are stemming from that, and it's not because Partey's getting ripped. It's not anything like that. It's just that Partey is so integral to how Arsenal play. Now, I was watching, like, it's funny, in the summer, I was watching, like, just Arsenal's goals. Like, it was like a video of all of Arsenal's, all of Arsenal's good goals, basically, of last season. And Partey was at the start. Him and Odegaard connected for so many of them goals. He was at the start of so many, and that goes maybe a pass back to Ramsdale to Gabriel, back to Partey, Partey. Just that little streamline that he's providing was so key to Arsenal being good. Now, look, his fall-off coincided with Arsenal's fall-off, which isn't a surprise. So now that you lot have taken him out and moving him to right back, we just saw Zinchenko say that he's the best and he's the best DM he's ever played with, and now he's playing at right back. Even the players might be like, well, we've got our best, arguably our top 3 player in our team playing out of position. That is a big decision. I think if he plays in midfield, I expect you to dominate the game against us. I'm being honest. But if he's playing at right back, then I'm kind of like,
Rashford might be licking his lips.
I might be like, Rashford just moved back to the left wing. Hopefully Ten Hag doesn't put him centre forward, but he moved to the left wing. That could be an opportunity for us.
A lot of people are suggesting that he's copying Pep quite a bit, and this is essentially another form of copying what Pep's been doing over the last 12, 18, 24 months. But is there a suggestion that maybe when you look at Pep, when you look at Man City, the fine margins and what it takes to actually maybe win a title off them requires a bit of this overthinking that can essentially make or break you as a manager?
My issue with the whole Arteta Pep comparison things is that if you want to beat City, you got to be different to them. And that's my only issue. Like, everyone is trying to be City, but Liverpool didn't beat City by being City. Liverpool beat City by... I remember watching the All or Nothing documentaries and stuff, and Pep was scared, like he was shaking at the thought of Salah, of Mane, the counter press. That he wasn't, when he, obviously I haven't seen what he thinks about the Arsenal team, but if you're just going to be kind of doing what we're doing and we have the superior players and we have me, the GOAT manager, go do your thing. I'm just going to beat you 3 times in a row when you guys played them last season, beat you 3 times in a row. So it's like, I think you guys should be trying to find ways of being different. Now, Partey, I think it's a bit lazy for people saying Partey is playing there to copy Pep, because Pep didn't put Rodri there. Pep is using his defenders, John Stones, to do that role. Do you know what I mean? So if Ben White did it, then I'll be like, oh, he's copying Pep a little. If Ben White was playing inverted, but he put Partey there, so it's different. So I wouldn't say he's copying him there, but I do think if you are going to tinker the style, maybe it's a more aggressive way of playing, a more fast way of playing, instead of a more methodical way. Because City are that, and you can't do it better than City and Pep. I'm sorry, we've seen it over his whole career.
Then again, let's go back to Ten Hag, and maybe that's what he's trying to do, something different. Because if I look at Man United, Arsenal last season at Old Trafford, you could compare that to the Man City-Liverpool game, not in terms of quality, but in terms of one team is coming to look for control.
Yes.
And is coming to get the ball and suffocate the opposition. The other team looking for their opportunities on the counter, the more rock and roll type.
Yeah.
So now back to Ten Hag, do you think maybe that's what his aim is? You know, you're not seeing maybe what you thought you'd see with Onana coming in and playing at the back, but he's got that vision of Onana's a better ball distributor. When he gets it, be quick off the mark, and he can get them counters.
Yeah, no, 100%. Look, I think he's buying into the United tradition, which is the one thing is, right, when he came, we thought he was just going to come implement his style.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm doing at Man United. But it seems that like he's bought into the tradition of what the match-going fans want. We, you know, well, LVG tried that and they were saying attack, attack, attack.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of bought into...
Is that important?
What? The tradition?
Him bringing all these in rather than going with what he knows.
For me, do what you know. Do what you know, because when it's time to... If it goes wrong, you can't say it was anyone else. Do what you know. I want to be able to be like, that is because it was your decision. But if he wants to go by the tradition, that's fine. And that's the way Man United have been and when we've been successful. So, yes, our style will be different to City's. But the problem with us is, are we a possession team? Are we a transition team?
Yeah.
Are we aggressive? So if you are trying to be this team where it's like rock and roll, let's look at prime Liverpool. Salah was explosive. Mane, explosive. Firmino was an elite presser. Hendo, Ginny, and Fabinho were legs for days. Like Van Dijk was a man mountain. You know what I mean? So was Matip. So was Gomez. Our team isn't constructed like that. You want to be this fast and furious team. I'm seeing Pape Sarr push Mount 5 yards off the pitch. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So we're not aggressive enough. We don't have the technical quality to be possession team right now. So we're kind of like half and half. And this is why for a long time I've said Man United need an overhaul. And when I say that, people just think, oh, yeah, Glazers spend more money. They're not. But if you actually look at the construction of this team, it's not constructed to any style of football.
And even
it's insane.
Even though you talk about, most United fans talk about the Glazers, and you do too, you also admit that it's not only the recruitment on the pitch or the lack of direction, it's also the structure of the pitch that's caused this over the last 10.
Bro, absolutely. Look, not to dig you out or anything, pause, but not that you were like a massive Kroenke out, right? You were always against the Kroenkes, and everybody was, not just you, but I'm talking to you now. But what happened? Josh Kroenke basically took the reins. Stan Kroenke, you do your Denver Nuggets, you do your whatever team you're with as well. You do your thing over there. Josh Kroenke, who feels like he loves the game, feels like he really wants to improve the team, came in, took the reins. All right, you had a bit of shaky appointments with that.
Emery.
No, not Emery. With what was that guy's name?
Oh, Raul Sunday.
Raul. Yeah. It went a little bit left with those type of people. But then you got into our Edu. Edu seems to love, obviously he loves the club. He knows what he's doing. He's an invincible, bro. He's at the club and he loves it. And you can see, obviously I watched Ulot's documentary, there's a streamline there. Josh, Edu, Arteta. Simple as that. Let's not confuse it. It's these three. These that are mapping out targets for Arteta. Arteta's telling it's a perfect streamline. But when you look at Man United, who's making these decisions? Richard Arnold, John Murtough, Joel Glazer, who is really doing it? And it doesn't seem like that. Look, now I'm not trying to sit here and say I'll be calm with the Glazers if we get directors, because there's other stuff, taking money out of the club and stuff. But just from a footballing point of view, if they want to improve things, you've got to get the staff right. Listen, the term, it starts from the top. It didn't stem from nowhere, bro. That works from all walks of life, bro. And the top for us is absolutely a shambles. And it's going to trickle down to the bottom of the pitch. And now, look, this is what we're seeing, bro. It's going to see, and look at us. Look at our transfer window, bro. It's a joke.
Yeah, well, you're linked with Cucurella and who now?
Cucurella, we're linked with Gravenberch or Amrabat, but we can't afford 17 million for Amrabat. Manchester United. It's incredible.
That's crazy.
It's incredible.
That's actually crazy.
It's incredible.
I don't know how it's come to here now, but here we are. Listen, Sunday, Cams. Arsenal, key man for you. Who do you need to keep quiet in order to get a point, 3 points out of this game?
Wow. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I remember going into the game last time, I was like, Eddie Nketiah is a key player. You know, and people were saying, I'm trying to gas up Eddie. Bro, I say it again, and I don't want to sound disrespectful to him. Congratulations on his England call-up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to sound disrespectful to him, but as a second striker in the Premier League, other than Julian Alvarez, how many teams have a better backup striker in the league? Listen, if you want to trade Eddie for Martial, Be my guest, mate. be my guest. Trust me, you wouldn't make that trade. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
We'll add Liverpool to that list now with Nunes on the bench. But
absolutely, sorry. And Liverpool.
Yeah,
Liverpool and City, they've got good backup strikers. Then I'll put Eddie Nketiah up in there. Do you know what I mean? So you're looking at him. He's a key player, I think, for Arsenal at the moment. And the reason why I'll say that is because he's just disruptive a little bit. Eddie Nketiah is always trying, bro. He's always trying. That run that he did might not work. He's still going to do it again. That miss that he did, it's not going to faze him. Well, it may faze him confidence-wise, but he's still going to keep going. Now, I'm not going to say he's the key. I haven't seen Martinelli and Saka really...
Not yet.
Not yet. They haven't got going yet. No. You know what I mean? No. But they are still dangerous.
They had those moments in the first game where Martinelli out of nowhere on the left-hand side, he does a little trick, Eddie scores, and Saka's banger. But you're right, they haven't really...
It hasn't really got going. But when I'm looking at the game last time... It was Saka who was on it, scored the great goal, but what he was doing to Luke Shaw was Luke Shaw didn't want to engage with
him everywhere
once. But now it's not Luke Shaw, so I've got to still look at Bukayo Saka. But it's also that Thomas Partey situation, bro. For me, it's that Thomas Partey situation.
We go back to the...
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Partey situation is not make or break, that might be exaggeration, but massively going to influence the way you play. You know what I mean? Because Declan Rice... we know what he is. He's a fantastic player, but he likes to sometimes drive with the ball, go forward and stuff. But in a game like this, he's probably going to have to sit. But he doesn't maybe do it as much as Partey in terms of collecting and fizzing it and So does that affect the way that you lot are going to play? I don't. It's going to be interesting. But Partey, Odegaard, and Rice against us. Lock off, mate. I'm telling you, that's key.
Couple questions off the bat. Let's go back to the Eddie thing because we've got Eddie available, we've got Trossard available, and Jesus now available. As a United fan, who don't you want to see starting up top?
I don't want to see... You know, Trossard's one of them players that will just get a goal, you know. Trossard's one of them players. But listen, he got hooked at half-time, which I think was a bit... I think it was a bit harsh. I think
you can say it's harsh, but at the same time, I like my manager to notice that we're not doing the right thing and try and change it.
And Eddie did score, to be fair, to come off. I don't want Jesus, probably. Jesus, you know. Jesus is the best player that you guys have in that area. You know what I mean? Well, he may not score as many goals, but Jesus, the link-up play, the overloads, you know what I mean? When Martinelli has the ball, you can now create a Zinchenko, Jesus, Martinelli triangle. Bro, he's just everywhere that you don't want him to be. So I wouldn't want him to start. And I remember his game against Lichard, against Lisandro. Them man were at it. You know what I mean? And Lisandro went out of his way to say that's the toughest striker he's played against in the Prem. So I know if Lisandro sees him, that's going to charge him up a little bit, and it's going to be ready. Like, we got to engage again. You don't really know, you know what I mean? So I think Jesus is the one that you probably don't want to see. You probably don't want to see, honestly,
Before we get into predictions, where I've got another question off the back of what you said, who should we be looking at as the key man? Is it Rashford, who this season so far hasn't hit the ground running, or is it Bruno Fernandes, who last week pulled it out the bag to...
I think it's got to be Marcus Rashford, bro. I mean, you look at the Emirates game as well. He did well in that game as well. That was a mad goal. That was when Rash sanity. That was just, he was out of his mind at that point. You know what I mean? He was out of his mind. But I think it's got to be Rashford for the sole fact that we have been doing this for 25 years, bro. Coming to the Emirates or Highbury and playing on the counter. You know what I mean? Maybe Highbury days was a little bit more battlers and scrappy. 100%. But Emirates era, we have been coming to counter you guys. You know what I mean? So I truly believe, other than maybe an Mbappe and a Haaland, I'm not saying Rashford's that level, but as a transition player, he is deadly,
bro. Get the ball in space and
in
let him go.
space it's frightening. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's something that you guys have definitely got to be wary about, because that out ball to Rashford in open space, it'll be a worry for you guys. You know what I mean? So I think that's the player that you probably have to watch out for. What about you?
Yeah, I was looking at Rashford and Bruno as well. Probably lean more towards Rashford because of, like you said, you're the away team in this one. You're probably going to try hit us on the counter, and there's not many on the counter better than Marcus Rashford. So that's the one I'm looking out for. And it kind of falls in line with what you said earlier about Partey. Is he going to be right back, or do we revert back to more of what we know from last season? And that leads me to the next question. On predictions, let me start with my prediction. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. I'm not...
You know you have to win.
I get that.
You have to
I hear that. To be honest with you, I kind of agree with that. I agree with that. We do have to win this because, you know, we're a lot longer in our process. Last season we challenged. We've just drawn to Fulham at the Emirates. So this one at the Emirates just before international break, we beat you lot. People forget about Fulham. We drop points, it adds on to Fulham. And with 2-week international break, a lot of noise on the internet. I don't want that. I don't want to be starting the season with noise. So I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal, but I want 2 predictions from you, Cams. I want one prediction with a lineup with Partey at right back, and I want one prediction with a lineup where Partey's in the midfield.
Ooh. So who's injured at the moment for Arsenal?
Timber's out.
Zinchenko fit?
Zinchenko's fit, yeah.
Okay.
Zinchenko's fit. So it's essentially just Timber. Jesus is back as well.
Okay. So for the first question, I'll say with Partey in midfield, I think in a home game against Manchester United, I think Ramsdale, Ben White back to right back. Get Gabriel back in the team.
Next to Saliba.
Next to Saliba. Let Zinchenko play invert to create a pivot with Partey, Declan Rice. Be that kind of counter stopper. You don't want a situation where Declan Rice is having to defend deep and make not last-ditch tackles, but if he's skipped, we're through.
What's next,
You want Declan Rice with his legs, with his energy, bro, to be sniffing them. What United are trying to start that?
Middle third.
Bruno, you're clapped. I'm taking you down. Boom. That's the end of that even thought of it. You know what I mean? Casemiro, whoever it is. So I'll say let Rice be a little bit more mobile. Let him be a little bit more mobile. Partey just kind of control Zinchenko, Odegaard, and the front three, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. That's self-explanatory. But now if you go with the Partey at right back, you got to go Partey at right back. I'm not starting Ben White. If you go Partey at right back, I'm not starting Ben White. I think Rashford can have joy. I think Rashford can have joy against Ben White. Saliba and Gabriel, I'm still putting in. And see, this is the problem. I don't understand why you guys. This is the problem with the Tierney sale.
Yeah, because you don't have that out and out.
Because if Partey's now inverting, you can't have Zinchenko inverting.
That's a double invert, and it could get.
That's the problem. Yeah. See, and that's why maybe but I think Zinchenko is injured. But that's why you saw Tomiyasu one time at left back. Was it or Kiwior? Sorry, and Kiwior.
Yeah, Kiwior's done left back. Tomiyasu's done left back. Yeah. Both.
If Partey's going to play right back, I'm going to start Kiwior.
Okay.
I'm going to start
a more natural left-sided centre back.
Yeah, I'm going to start Kiwior if he's going to do that. So I will do Kiwior, Gabriel, Saliba if Partey's inverted, and then Rice, and then Havertz is going to have
to line up one with Partey in midfield.
I would go Trossard, not Havertz.
Yeah, okay, I get that as well. So line up one with Partey in midfield. What's your score prediction?
If that's the score, if that's the one, I think it'll be 3-1. Arsenal.
Line up 2 with Partey right back. Does that change your prediction?
Give me 2-2.
2-2.
Give me 2-2. Give me 2-2. Look, I'm not confident of a win.
Yeah.
The pressure, though, is on Arsenal.
More so, yeah.
Arsenal need to win this one. And the reason why I say this is, I know your fan base, bro. I know your fan base.
Change.
They're waiting. I mean, Havertz is the first stumbling block. Declan Rice is next.
And likewise,
no, you know it.
If we smoke you, your fan base are waiting.
Whoa, listen. If we lose, it's going to be a lot of questions. But we're already at that point. We are frustrated with the window. Yeah. We're already at that point. Your fan base are still buzzing off last season. The first 3 games, you were like, all right, we got 3 points out of them. Then the Fulham game was kind of where you're now like, I always say, a lot of people don't react to things until something negative happens.
Yeah.
Anyone with eyes could see Arsenal maybe weren't playing at their best.
Yeah.
But it was like, we're getting 3 points. But now you drop to Fulham, it's like,
the performance the result has caught up with the performance.
Exactly. And City are still going, and you lot's target is to win the league this year. You know what I mean? So I think you guys have pressure on you, bro. The fan base will soon. I think I even saw you saying, do I miss Shaka a little bit? You know what I mean? Yo, I saw that, bro. So you guys are going to
reminisce sometimes when in moments of concern.
This is the thing. So, like, I think your fan base might start turning a little bit, if not, because it's not only the players. I don't want to make it like we've been here just talking about Havertz and Rice and the new signings.
Yeah.
It's down to Arteta as well.
Yeah.
I think your fan base will start looking at Arteta like, why have you changed it?
Yeah.
What's the difference from this season and last year? Are you trying to be an overthinker? Are you over-tinkering? So I think there's a lot don't on Arsenal to do it, man. Especially against us.
This is always a big one.
If it was us or Spurs, you don't want us picking up a result. You just don't. So
100%. Especially what happens online after, if that's the case.
But we're terrible. Honestly, though, the reason why I'm not defending us is we're terrible away from home against the top teams. We've already lost against Spurs.
Yeah.
But at some point,
it has to
end.
It has to change, yeah.
Can it be this time?
Hopefully not, people. But listen, we both predicted 3-1. If Partey starts at right back, Cam's is going for a 2-2, hopefully.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. What do you want to see? Do you want to see the lineup we've been seeing in the first few games of the season, or do you want to see it change from Man United, a big one before the international break? And like I said, people, go show Cam some love. His channel's in the title, socials in the description. Make sure you show him some love because he's doing big things. And as always, people, love for the love. Hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. Peace.